Welcome to the Half Moon Yoga and Art audio blog and podcast. My name is Hannah Faulkner. So today I'd like to share with you the element of space at Machu Picchu. Space, or ether, is the mother of all other elements. The experience of space as luminous emptiness is the basis of higher spiritual experiences. Space can be thought of as the sky or voids between objects. It represents those things beyond our everyday experience, particularly those things composed of pure energy like spirit, thought, and creative energy. Artworks look more balanced when you create both positive and negative space, as they both play an important role in determining the overall composition in a work of art. Simply put, positive space is best described as the areas in a work of art that are the subjects or the areas of interest. Negative space is an area around the subject or areas of interest. I love creating this art experience with my students. So if you look at an image of vase and face, black and white, if you're seeing a vase, then you are seeing the white area as the positive space, and the black area becomes the negative space. If you are seeing faces, then you are seeing the black areas as the positive space and the white area as the negative space. I encourage you to take a look at the video blog on YouTube or on my blog at halfmoonyogaandart.com/blog to see the images. In yoga asana practice, or the physical practice of poses, our body takes the form of the positive space. When we balance or extend our limbs, the area around each piece of our body is considered negative space. Space is also associated with sound and the fifth chakra. The fifth chakra, Vishuddha, is positioned at the throat region near the spine. Due to its association with hearing, it is related to the ears, and due to its association with speaking, it's associated with the mouth. So ask yourself, are you speaking your truth and saying things that really need to be said? Are you hearing others' truths? Are they hearing yours? When the fifth chakra is balanced and centered, you feel comfortable with communication. You take responsibility for your own needs. You practice conscious listening. You are truthful in confession. You calmly give and receive constructive criticism, and you have a positive self-expression and faith. Many of us are often very uncomfortable with empty space and quiet. We need to overcome this attitude in order to find balance in this chakra, which can be cleaned or opened by quiet meditation or vocalization. If you have issues with faith, decision-making, will, personal expression, or criticism, these are some more suggestions for a throat chakra healing. Number 1, sing, hum, or chant. Number 2, listen to someone with your whole self for 5 minutes, then switch and have them listen to you. Number 3, speak up the truth about something you've been silent about. Number 4, recite this mantra to yourself throughout the day. I am able to speak to others clearly and eloquently. It is good, right, and safe for me to express my true self. I am heard. And number 5, these yoga poses also aid in balancing your throat chakra. Fish, supported shoulder stand, camel, bridge pose, and plow pose. Outer space is the void that exists between celestial bodies, including the uppermost reaches of the atmosphere of the Earth and between all other objects in the universe. Outer space may be thought of as an environment, and it is the closest known approximation to a perfect vacuum. It has no friction, allowing stars, planets, and moons to move freely along their ideal orbits. The gravitational attraction of large bodies in space, such as planets and stars, pulls gas molecules close to their surfaces, leaving the space between virtually empty. However, outer space isn't uniform nothingness. It is full of stuff. In between stars, there are clouds of gas and dust. These clouds are sometimes the remains of old stars that went out in a blaze of explosive glory, and they're the regions where new stars form. Some of that interstellar gas is dense enough to carry sound waves. NASA designed a special instrument that could record these electromagnetic vibrations, then transformed them into sounds that our ears can hear. So now I'm going to play for you this special sound from NASA, relating space and sound in the fifth chakra. Further, the Inca civilization rose from the highlands of Peru sometime in the early 13th century. Their empire spanned 375,000 square miles of South America. Unfortunately, they were conquered by the Spanish in 1572. The Incas claimed descent from the sun and the moon, their father and mother. The most important events to the Inca involved certain risings and settings of the sun, moon, and stars. The sun, moon, and stars were part of the sacred Incan or Andean cross, which had a trinity on each edge. The four flat sides represent the elements of water, air, earth, and fire. North is air, south is water, east is fire, and west is earth. The center is the fifth element, space, emanating from the void. One side also represents the sun, moon, and stars. Another side represents the underworld, earth, and heavens. Further, the snake for wisdom, cougar for power, and condor for peace can be represented on another angle. In addition, there are 3 rules for morality. Do not steal, do not lie, and do not be lazy. So in other words, be honest in your work for the betterment and greater good of yourself, your family, your community, and humanity as a whole. On Machu Picchu, you can view half of the Andean cross that's cut in perfect chiseled stone, and when the sun hits a certain angle, it reflects the shadow and completes the cross with 3 trinities on each side. The Inca believed in sacred geography and used the principle of sacred space in planning the layout of their cities. Specific features of the landscape were thought to have supernatural power, such as a mountain peak, a plant, or a particular configuration of stones. They called these places huacas. Innumerable examples of these existed throughout the empire. Among these mountaintop shrines lies one of the new 7 wonders of the world, Machu Picchu. One theory for the purpose of this ancient city is that the Incas used it as a mountaintop observatory. You can learn more at www.ancient-origins.net/. No one knows for certain the specific purpose for this city in the sky because the Incas did not keep a written language. Instead, they relied on sound for communication. They specialized in telling their history through the oral tradition, stories, and chanting songs. So once again, the role of sound plays a part in the element of space. The main form of communication between Incan cities was the chasqui. The chasqui were young men who relayed messages. When an important message was given, a chasqui would run about 1 kilometer to another chasqui waiting outside another hut. This message would be relayed, and the chain would be continued for hundreds of miles by hundreds of runners until the last runner reached the receiving Inca and told the message. The sun and the moon were considered gods, and temples and pillars were laid out specifically so that heavenly bodies such as the sun would pass over pillars or through windows on certain days, especially the summer solstice. The Incas built observatories where they captured the first and last rays of the sun through a series of specially placed windows. Their chief observatory was called the Coricancha, or golden enclosure, and was covered completely in gold. This temple of the sun is located near the summit of the main city in Machu Picchu and was built over a rock of pure granite in a semicircular formation with no mortar between the rocks. So these rocks were perfectly chiseled with simple tools to represent a holy place. This temple represented the cult of Inti, the sun god. The Incas kept several mummies of past leaders in the niches, wrapped in fetal position, to be worshipped as an important part of the cult of the sun. At sunrise, the Inca population had to greet the sun god with the muche, sending resounding kisses, offered symbolically with fingertips. Then the people sang in a low tone. Again, here's this sound, these songs going out into space towards the sun. Rising above the entire city, a unique stone is carved so that on certain days at dawn, the sun makes a shadow, thus working as a sundial to control the calendar. The Temple of the Moon is located on the young horn-shaped mountain of Huayna Picchu. The site is made up of stone masonry and an open-faced shallow cave. In the center of the cave is a throne carved out of rock. Beside the throne are steps that lead deeper into the cave. It is a very tall, double-jammed doorway, symbolizing that this is a space for a sacred temple. Since there was no written language for the Incas, this temple was arbitrarily named. The temple has received this name from the way moonlight radiates inside the cave at night, keeping in mind that caves, like springs, were thought to be entrances for gods. They believed the temple's purpose was to be a place of worship to the moon goddess. Further, the stars in the sky were very important to the religion of the Inca. To the Inca, everything was connected. They identified constellations and individual stars and assigned them a purpose. According to the Inca, many of the stars were there to protect animals. Every animal had a corresponding star or constellation which would look out for it. Although the llama is a dark constellation, the stars Alpha and Beta Centauri serve as its eyes and are the first to emerge when the llama rises in November. The constellation consists of 2 llamas, a mother and a baby. Llamas were of great importance to the Inca. They were food, beasts of burden, and sacrifice to the gods. These sacrifices often took place at certain times with astronomical significance, such as equinoxes and solstices. You can learn more about the llamas and the constellations in LatinAmericanHistory.about.com. And now an Inca song for space from Inca Visions. Father, Son, Inti, Teta, Chaska, Inca messenger to the star people, hold us in between the tick and the tock, between the spaces. Hold us in the place of infinity, where all the stories exist simultaneously, where all the healing happens instantaneously. Thank you for bringing us together, for letting us sing our soul songs one more day in one more way. Teach us that we are the ones we have been waiting for. And you can find more from the Inca Song for Space at www.incavisions.com/articles/prayers/prayer1.html. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you continue to listen to the Half Moon Yoga and Art audio blog and podcast.